Hey everybody,
Hey there.
it's your girl Tiffany Nicole of Uncharted,
And I'm your boy Robert Bass of World Class Clown Comedy.
and today we're bringing you our brand new podcast, Two Minds.
One world.
And since this is our first episode, we thought we'd give you a brief description on what we plan to cover here on Two Minds.
One world.
So, Two Minds, One World is meant to be a social commentary
That is meant to be given from two different perspectives. One being gender and the other being generational.
But on today's episode, since it's our first episode, we thought we'd give you a treat. We're going to shake it up and give you three different perspectives. To bring you that third perspective, we thought, who better than our father, Vincent Bass? Yay!
Hey guys.
Cheers! Hey, Dad!
Hey.
Hey there, Pops. Welcome
What's
to the
up,
show.
son? All right.
So what we want to do is we'll go ahead and get into it. We'll start with our first segment, which we refer to as, okay, let's be real. Is there anything on your mind that you would like to talk about?
Well, I was thinking, because this is three generations, what do you guys think of the state of politics in America? Well,
What part?
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's so many things to talk about. Do you want to talk about Donald Trump Jr.? Do you want to talk about the lack of responsibility that's taken by this family in general, especially y'all president? Or, hey, why don't we talk about healthcare, the healthcare bill?
That's a good place to start. I mean, and you being very new to your own insurance, you tell us about that.
Okay, so first of all, I'm sad. Not because, not sad for the reason 22 million Americans should be sad about. I'm 26, which means I'm no longer considered a dependent. Shout out to Obama for getting me to 26 though, because he's a real MVP. But yeah, so I recently had to sign up for my own health and dental insurance. Thank you. I have good vision. I didn't have to sign up for that. So, and from what I know, which is very limited, I had to consult with both of my parents about it. But I have a pretty good job, and without giving too much away, it is tied into government. And I was able to get a PPO with Florida Blue and
You owe us Florida Blue for that shout out.
Yeah, and dental insurance through Humana. Of course, I was sad when my check dropped a few dollars
Welcome to the real
bi-weekly.
world.
But I can honestly say I have a pretty good deductible. I have like a $20 deductible with my dentist, and then it's just whatever the cost of the procedure is. And I still, all my things as such as copay for my regular doctors are the same. But like I was saying, I won't be affected if this bill passes through, but that doesn't mean I don't care. 22 million Americans without health insurance?
Well, I mean,
How is that even possible?
being a comedian, you don't necessarily need insurance. The only thing that we suffer from is bruised ego. They don't throw tomatoes no more.
I wish they still threw tomatoes.
Because that would be worse. Then I would need health care because, I'm not healthy. So I get hit with a tomato, my body shut down.
Well, what about this part now? For the last, month, they've been trying to get this thing passed in the Senate, and the Republicans are trying to go along. What do you think about that, Rob?
Well, I think the part that people have to understand is that they're not trying to amend it. They're trying to repeal and replace it. And certain aspects of what they're doing is, in my opinion, the biggest problem is the hurdles that they're trying to jump in doing so. One of the things that they're stating right now that is not going to change immediately would be the taxes on Republicans. So that leads me to ask the question, like, at the end of the day, if they're not voting for the repeal with the faith that they can then replace it thereafter, that shows that they don't trust the man that they put in the office. Because at the end of the day, if we're working together and the overall goal is to replace it, then we should overlook this small little thing because you're going to get me on the back end. Or are you? Because you basically have lied about everything else. And I think that's the problem.
Everything.
They put Pinocchio in the office and they're amazed that his nose broke.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I just feel like they know that this is pretty much garbage because they knew they were shouting in the dark during the campaign. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna get rid of Obamacare. They didn't know then how they were getting rid of it. And now it's pretty much still showing that they don't know how they're gonna get rid of it. Like 22 million Americans uninsured. I mean, your best Obama hater is not trying to be uninsured.
Well, I think, sorry about that. I think, we're just at that stage where even you can see the outburst of protest, of those who have this insurance and they don't want you to touch it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not sure that you know what you're doing and you're proving you don't know what you're doing. Like you said, you had all this time to have a plan. And you don't have a plan. And among yourselves, meaning among Republicans, you can't seem to get the votes on this. So,
yeah, and I mean, and when you think about it, the protesters, the main protesters, and I don't think that they're protesting for themselves.
Right.
They're protesting for their kids who have pre-conditions, pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
And so now it's a thing. It's like, well, hey, I voted for you.
Right,
It's that thing. Like now you're starting to realize, hey, while you were throwing people off the boat, you were being flipped over too. Now your feet wet, and you're like, wait a minute, this wasn't part of the plan. I was supposed to, and then you. But what about us?
And that's exactly how he sounded the whole time on the podium. I have a great idea. What's the plan? It's great.
It's great. Trust me. Trust me. It's going to be. Yes, trust me.
So you now trying to fill in those blanks. Well, oh wait, when he was talking, he never really told me how he was going to help me, but he was going to help me, and it was going to be great.
It was going to be great, and it just basically boils down to your love for your hatred for the man who was in the office previously.
Right.
When you, at some point in history, whether it's the History Channel or National Geographic, because right now it's getting kind of animalistic, but somebody's going to go back and go over the campaign.
Right.
And they're going to, I mean, they've already started.
Right.
But somebody's going to put everything in perspective. Because right now, you have to take into consideration, we're only 7 months in.
Right.
So a lot of the things that they're pinpointing, we're only 7 months in. So then the argument can be, oh, well, he's only 7 months in. Which I find quite amazing, and thinking about something we had just watched. They're so quick to say, "Hey, we need to work with him. You need to give him time."
Right.
But nobody wanted to give Obama time during his first term, as if Bush and his administration hadn't did anything. Like Obama came in office and everything was perfect. Nobody wanted to hear, give him time or let's work with him. But now all of a sudden everybody wants to work.
Everyone wants to spoon feed. It's not even work with him. It's like, oh, we need to help him understand. Why did you run for office you don't understand? Like,
and that's the whole thing. He thought he understood it. And he came out in the interview saying, well, this is a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, running a whole country and dealing with foreign countries was going to be easy. You was going to sit there, you going to play them a couple episodes of The Apprentice, and y'all was going to kiki, and everything was going to be cool.
Yeah. And it's funny that you should mention that, because then, for some people, their final drawback is he is good in business. And what I've learned about that term is that you can be good in business and not be a good person. Or you can be a good person and go with the business, but the business it's not conducive for the mass.
Right.
So when you get into it, let's talk about his business practice. They work that great, but this is a guy that you wanted to give a chance to. Let's give him a chance. Let's see what he can do. Let's watch him make America great again.
Oh, he said some things I didn't really like, but or did some things.
I mean,
I can forget that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, right.
I have black friends. Oh, okay.
I have black friends Twitter.
Yeah, so what's your black friend name? Tyrone. You're like, because I don't think we name wrong.
We get together though after
You know, it's that thing, and you have this guy who built this platform on hatred, and nobody's gonna acknowledge that. But that's what he built it on. So everything else that he threw out there, you went along with it because of your hatred. So now here he is, 7 months in. His first plan of action was to get rid of Obama.
Right.
7 months in.
A slam dunk.
Slam dunk.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be huge. Everybody's gonna be happy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, first off, I'm simple. And by simple, I mean petty. I would have never voted for him, even if I thought he had great principles.
Yeah.
Anybody that comes out of the house with their hair looking like that lets me know that they're prone to making bad decisions. Bad decisions.
You
Because
have so much money and your hair looks like that.
forget about that. I ain't got no money. When I got to the point where I realized this wasn't growing like that and this wasn't growing at all, cut it all off. That's it. That's good. That's good decision making. Now that don't mean I'm ready to be president, but at the same time, on the opposite spectrum, if I had a little flopping in the wind, ain't nobody gonna vote for me. Look at his hair. That's the first thing. And we talk about him and him being orange as a Oompa Loompa, but the reality of it is, personal feelings aside, say what you're gonna do what you're gonna say, and none of that has been done, and that's what we are with the healthcare.
That's funny, and we can laugh. But, I go back in my generation and my friends that I talk to, we've got a line of Stevie Wonder saw through this. And to segue onto another point of this, we feel that just hatred in the 1960s, hatred rose its ugly head again with full force. What do you guys think about that? I mean,
it's all being the bridging generation. I think that my generation is now, and this is my opinion, is getting to the point of acknowledging. It's a thing, first and foremost, it never went anywhere. And that's the whole, I believe that's the whole point that you're making. But I believe that we didn't have to go through those things. In a sense, it's almost like that, hey, slavery was a long time ago, get over it. And we kind of bought into it a little bit because now it's like, oh, well, I didn't have to go through things that my dad went through. I didn't have to go through things that my granddad went through. So, maybe America is getting a little better. And then for us, there's glimpses. And it's not, and I think for my generation and down, these glimpses are things that your generation and up has seen, but it's things that we now have to enter into our spirit and digest because these things are so blatant now. It's from a matter of being pulled over. The conversation we had earlier about the guy that got shot in the back running away. The sad part is we in the black community for the most part grew up Christian, so we believe in God, we believe in divine intervention, and that God makes things happen for a reason. And here it is, the guy gets pulled over for a busted tail light. Right. He ends up running out of fear for his life. He gets shot in the back, and divine intervention is a passerby happens to get the whole thing on camera, all the way down to the police officer planting the gun that he claimed that the guy had. Blac Chyna. Right. But some of us will allow others from the outside to be like, well, you don't know what happened before the video started.
Yeah.
And
don't believe your own eyes.
And so now you have that fence rider. Like, well, I don't know. Yeah. I see it. As a black man, I'm a fall. Yeah. You got a point. We don't know what happened in the beginning. And the reality of it is, in that situation, and I'm talking just that situation, it doesn't matter what happened. What was on tape was this guy was running. Yeah. And like I said to you earlier, if you had a legitimate reason for shooting at him, then you would not have needed to plant the gun. Yeah. Because you would have been legitimate in your job and what you were doing. And so I think these are the things that are raising, even back to the Mike Brown situation. I had a coworker that was like, oh, but, it's funny how y'all automatically forget that before he got shot, supposedly, he stole a cigar. Are Are you freaking kidding me? So this young man's life was not even worth a cigar, which then goes into this election. Granted, that was some years before this election, but that was the thing that was underneath. So you feel as though this young 18-year-old black man's life was only worth the cigar that he had supposedly stolen. And you're going to totally overlook his hands was up and he was not presenting danger. And so I think my generation is now coming. We're at that point of like, well, what do we do? We don't want to drop the ball, you know. At the same time, do we want to run in and you have it's a mixture because some are like enough is enough, and then others are like, well, let's just wait, and I don't mean it in a disrespectful fashion, but you know, let's just wait, let's just pray. Jesus coming back soon, you know, and I don't think that's the right way to go about it, but I think for my generation, that's where we are with it.
Being a part of the millennium. I just talk first from personal experience. Growing up, I knew I was black. I believe all my friends knew I was black. But for the most part, I went to schools that were predominantly African American. And there's black art in the house. Like, I knew I was black, but the past 2 years, well, not even 2 years, the past few years, it's like realizing that you're black in so many things. Like, I knew when I went to, like, out to eat, I was black. Like, I knew that. But now it's more aware because now it feels like other people are watching you and things like that. So I feel like it's a hyper awareness of being black now. Like, for me, I never really thought about there are parts of America that I probably should have known. Especially at night. I never really thought about that until a couple years ago. It just, you know, I feel like my generation, we are upset. That's pretty clear. But also, I feel like we are trying not to, what we feel is basically take our parents back, which we take it from, and like go from there. I feel like we're very much the revolution, as you can see, but I feel like we're not 100% in sync about what the revolution should be because you have the people who want to protest, but do it peacefully, you know, and then you have the people who are like ready to like start a militia, and they feel like we gotta fight with fight. Like they shoot us, we gotta shoot them. So you have those two perspectives, and I think what this election did to already aggravate the fact that we are seeing people who look like us and who are in our age being shot. It brought those people who like are our Facebook friends or people we saw on Twitter or people we even work with, and it's bringing them into light because I never knew you felt like that about me, or I didn't know you had those exceptions to the rule, or I was only a black person before I started talking about black issues. And because I feel like honestly, with my generation, we were very into coming together with other minority groups and other disenfranchised groups to like fight for equality for them. Like we were here for the LGBT community and transgender rights and equality and getting gay marriage, and we were here to, you know, for the Muslim women in particular, but just Muslim people. We were here. We were saying every Muslim is not a terrorist because we know every black person is a thug. So when it came to this election and you go on Facebook and you see this person like that you like either work with or like you've been talking to like via the internet, because you know my group, we grew up with the internet and Twitter and social media. And you see this person posting like, oh yeah, Trump made, you know, some valid statements today. About what? Like, what did you see that I didn't see? What news clip is this? Or whatever. Or you see their commentary on the shooting of, like you were saying, like, what happened with Buckley. Trayvon just tell me where he lives because he didn't have to tell him where he lives.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like nobody asks you where you live. You walking around in the hood. Nobody's like, hey, white boy, hey,
Well, you know,
why are you in the hood? What street corner you live? Nobody's doing that to you. Like we either assume you like on drugs or something, but we don't bother you. Okay?
Yeah, we gonna make that assumption.
We
That's
gonna
right.
be on drugs.
Hey, stay away.
We not gonna say it.
Billy ain't wrapped too tight.
Okay?
but that is you know, again, being the number of years that I've been here and to see the then and to see the now, and the most shocking part of it is I go back to Rodney King. I mean, when the Rodney King video came out, I was like, oh yes, finally. They know what we know. They see what we see. And how long ago that was? 25 years or more? And we're still not getting it with even better video and better that. But to bring this back into the current administration, high-level leaders in his cabinet and his advisory are known. The Attorney General, his history, you know, is known for being on the other side of, you know, the racial discussion. Like Bardo, I'm pronouncing it wrong. The gentleman is known for this type of language, and to see it, I grew up with the rose-colored glasses. I believe that when segregation started, we were being bused to white communities and white schools. We're going to be the generation to end this. Only to find out that my white counterparts, in a lot of ways, might have been getting it from home, but they kept it alive, and it's still going on. Okay, but okay, you got to go ahead.
I think the thing with America and what America has to look into us is if you are white, and specifically if you are a white male, you get physically down. If you are black, whether female or male, we're gonna question everything that makes you look innocent. So I think that's where the difference comes in.
And it also, I didn't see that come. Thought process and the way of handling things. So when we moved to the St. Lucie area, I want to say within months of us being there was a video of a shooting, and the police officers literally reached in the car and was shooting the guy. And from the dash cam, you could see that he wasn't posing a threat because he was trying to get over the scene of being shot.
Right.
And I think at that point that should have been that. My point in making that story was not just to point out, you know, the obvious, but it did something to me. It did something to my mind frame and my train of thought. And some people agree and some people disagree. But I think it's also G.I. Joe used to do a little skit at the end of their thing, at the end of the show, and then the person would say, now I know. And then they would say, and knowing is half the battle. And I think that's the thing that we overlook. As corny as it sounds, it's that thing, you know, in the portion that wants a revolution. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to change the way that I live in any way. But image is everything. Perception is everything. And the way that we are perceived as people, we have to take that into consideration. Is it fair? No. I know when I get pulled over, before they get to the car, my keys on the dash, my hand is in it.
Yes.
If there's anything that I couldn't get before he got to the car, I waited till he got there. I let him know, listen, my registration, proof of insurance is in the glove compartment. I'm going to take this hand, and as tedious as it sounds, or how unnecessary it sounds, we can go back to the last shooting that we were talking about earlier, where the guy was telling me, I have a weapon, I have my concealed license, everything, and he asked him to reach for something, and the minute he did, you know, and it's that thing. And so, and what you were saying, so as black males with thumbs, you know, that's the perception of it. But it's not just us, and this is the thing that I tell my daughter. You also have to understand that there is a perception of you as a black woman. I know you're smart.
Right.
Your grades reflect you smart.
Right.
But when you get pulled over, they don't see what I know, and they don't see your grade. They see you as a black woman, and their image, and not all of them, because I am a believer that not all law enforcement is bad. So I'm only, when I make my comments, I'm only making my comments toward the ones that are corrupt.
Right.
All they see is a young black girl, which is even worse than a black woman, because for a black woman, they feel like she's going to be sassy. For a black girl, they feel she's going to give them attitude, woo-woo, but you're going to do reaching for stuff that's not there.
Yeah.
And that's all that they see, and that's all that they expect. So, you know, it's my point that I was trying to make is that in knowing how they look at us, these are things that we should take into consideration. Everybody's not going to agree, but when you get pulled over, there are things you should automatically do. Period. If you're not legit, you shouldn't have been driving. Let's put that out there. So if your license is suspended and you know they suspended, just put your hands out and be like, look, go ahead and put the handcuffs on. My license suspended, I was driving anyway.
Right.
We can deal with everything else when I'm in the back of the police car,
Right.
which the Bland would show that not even that can be trusted.
Right.
So, it's that thing.
And that's what I feel about my generation is they're angry. And it's what you said, angers them more. Like, okay, you want me to do what they said, but I still have occurrences where doing what they said does not get me anywhere. So I just want to rebel, and I want to go alphabet.
Yeah.
And, fight with
You're
fire.
right, but you need dead right.
No, I totally
Really?
get it.
Right.
I'm just saying that's the perspective I'm getting, because I feel like a little bit my generation, we took the phrase, if you don't know your history, you're losing it. We're taking it very seriously in the way that we're almost like blaming, in my opinion, blaming our parents. Like, y'all took the crumbs, but we ain't taking no crumbs this time. We want the whole cake, and if we don't get the whole cake, it's going to be a problem. I don't necessarily agree with taking, like, meaning violence with violence or whatever, because I just feel like, okay, listen, the National Guard, the Russian military force is going to be over here, and it's going to be it.
Which brings me to the next part of it. As you said, the Russian situation. I was born in 1957, okay, long time ago, and to see the fact that a foreign entity has this much power and this much love for the current administration is baffling. I'm not your super patriotic guy. Don't let me try to throw that out there, because I still have a lot of anger on America. Being born in '57, I was born in a time when we didn't have the right to vote. You see what I'm saying? So I have that anger. But this is a foreign. This isn't an ally. This is an enemy of the state or an enemy of the world. But the president, is so cozying up to it. And what we're finding out is we can go back to 2015 to see the development of this. That it was a plot from the start. You know what I'm saying? How, if any way, does this play with your generations?
I just feel like we are used to them not taking responsibility.
Yeah.
So
Them being the current
administration and just the people who support him.
Yeah.
We're used to, I don't want to say all white people, but we're used to white people sticking to their guns.
Mm-hmm.
We have had several people report the ties to Russia, and we still over here hearing butt. And I would never understand.
Right.
So we're used to it.
Yeah.
We're used to it. To them not taking responsibility.
Right.
And it is the thing, but I mean, you get that. Yes, we know the collusion. Hey, it's America.
As we
like
say,
to party.
Stevie Wonder could see through this.
We drinking.
Yeah.
We cool. We got ties with Russia. Ain't gonna be no more vodka. Black people, you should be upset because that's gonna end the Ciroc. I know you like your Ciroc. Vodka, Russian. Just saying, huge.
Yeah.
You know, and it is that, but it's that thing. Like, yeah, you probably can. And everything. What I learned as I get older, everything has a middle, a beginning, and an end. Right. And what the part of the puzzle that a lot of people are not going to like or will never admit to is the Obama.
Yeah.
See, which goes back to why it's so important for them to replace Obama.
Right.
Because you gotta erase him out of history. Because
Right.
for you felt as though he was just a pawn.
Right.
You see, because now I got y'all had 8 years.
Yeah.
Y'all had 8 years.
Right.
8 years.
Right.
What has he done? So then you get that, you erase what he's done, and then you do whatever it is that you want to do now, because those 8 years was the incubation period.
Right.
Because those people who are now still supporting the current administration without valid reasons didn't have a valid reason to support them in the beginning. Their valid reason was their hatred for these other races. And, you know, the problem with the whole thing, going back on something you were saying about the different communities that we lend a hand to, the problem is if your generation is gonna do this revolution and make this bold stand, they gotta understand that they're doing it by themselves. Because these communities are not gonna help. See, we help put them where they wanted to be.
No, I definitely feel like we know that. I do, because especially Black women actually, feminism has not been the Black legacy. White feminists didn't come up until they started threatening Planned Parenthood and they birth control and they rights to their bodies was being threatened. That's the only time white feminists came out and held our hands and was like, let's do this together. That's the only time. So we're not ignorant to the fact. And if we are definitely, anybody who was definitely waking up now to see it. But it goes back to Patricia Arquette at, I don't even remember what war show it was, and she basically told Black people to be quiet, Black women to be quiet, because what's really important is pay equality.
But even in that, it makes sense for her.
Exactly.
I want pay equality to my race opposite. So I want pay equality to the white actress. The black woman, the black actress asked for pay equality, and you asked for pay equality to Will Smith. You know, which I probably shouldn't say Will Smith. I should pick somebody lower, because Will Smith gets paid. I ain't mad. Holler at me. I can be your brother in any movie. But and that's the thing. It's always that separation, and we're separate but divided, and we're gonna, for lack of better terms, probably remain that way because the other side doesn't want to understand this side. You know, well, I see what you're saying, but that wasn't me. I wasn't known that. That was my.
I get your concerns, but you know, maybe we try to do this first.
Right.
You know,
And
then
that's how
we
it's
can
always
start.
done.
And it started with that phrase, "Make America Great." And when I first heard it, my question was, for whom?
Who? And when was it?
Yeah, right.
Because I missed it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
so we're making America great again by uninsured 22 million people.
Right on the healthcare. And the racist thing that the Department of Justice, is continuing to do.
And see, and that's how it works. That's how you make America great again. So here's what you do. You start by replacing the bill. 22 million people are out of insurance. They die. You build a wall. The Russians come over, help us throw them over. And now America is great again. And it's crazy. I said it on the stage a couple times. And I said it in joke format. But I believe it wholeheartedly and sincerely. You know, you have a lot of, and this is one thing about African American people, and I'm one of them, is when another nationality gets attacked, we're like, whew, well, at least it's not us, this time. Sadly, not every one of us think that way. I'm definitely speaking from my aspect. Mm-hmm. I did, but I came to the conclusion with this wall building thing, and I said in the joke form, I was like, I would tell my friends, hey, don't be so happy about them getting rid of the Mexicans and building the wall, because if they get rid of the Mexicans, who gonna build the wall?
Right.
Exactly.
It's gonna be us, and then that's how they're gonna make America great again.
Right.
Hey, boy.
Yeah.
Get on that wall.
On that wall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think we can talk about this all day, but I think one thing we are in agreement on is this bill is pretty much garbage.
Right.
And healthcare bill is pretty much garbage.
And this administration is pretty much garbage.
Pretty much garbage.
Pretty much garbage. And what everybody should already know, it's hard to be black in America.
Thank you.
And on that note, we're just going to switch gears into something more lighthearted.
And I thought it was actually perfect the way that you ended it, because the second session that we do is called Bumping Heads. Now, bumping heads generally means that we're not going to get along or agree with what's about to be said. So I thought it would be pretty interesting to attack this Rob Kardashian, Blac Chyna thing. But not from the aspect that everybody else has been doing it, because it's kind of played out to talk about how, Blac Chyna is the first person to get involved in the Kardashian web and get away scot-free. But as I've said earlier, the law. So Rob Kardashian is in trouble for what is known as the revenge porn law. Now,
revenge porn law.
If you don't know what that means, basically what it means is Rob took some pictures of Blac Chyna in the nude, and when he got mad, as revenge, he put them online.
Well, she sent them to him, and as revenge, she put them online.
Yeah.
He got them, had them, put them online.
Put them online.
That's the general.
Yeah. That's
the part you need, the revenge part is what you need to care about. They got on the internet by him.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't care. First and foremost, here's my thought process on it, and here's how I feel about it. Since she sent him the said material, we'll call it material, said material, which, by the way, after this, I'm probably going to look it up to see what the pictures look like. But anyway, she sent them to him.
Right.
My whole thought is this. Since she took the pictures, she sent the pictures, it is her responsibility that the pictures do not make it on the internet. By not taking the pictures and sending the pictures, because then it won't get online. Now, if he took the pictures, got mad, oh, you have my baby, you're leaving me, now you're going to go marry somebody who got more money than me, I'll teach you. Now he should be in trouble. Why? Because he took the pictures. She didn't take the pictures. I think, since she sent the pictures, she needs to just go ahead and finish marrying this son of a billionaire and call it happy. Because listen,
right? Son of a billionaire.
She
the black guy.
Like I think his mom's supposed to be.
Huh? Who is there?
I don't know, but she about to find out. Which is very interesting, because I'm probably one of the few people who wasn't really turned on by Blac Chyna. It was something about this area, like this whole area here, which I guess.
Well, wait a minute. Okay. Being the voice of law here, as you stated, there is a law. There is a law on this situation. And my general knowledge of this case, because this is so millennium that it's way out there on me. But my general information on this case is that the law says that any time you place such mentioned information out to the public or on the internet in a revenge mode, meaning the problem Rob has is Rob has said, I'm pissed. This is what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah.
And he's almost given any prosecutor the green light to win this case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, you know, there's some trouble for Rob.
But
Now, wait a minute.
Okay.
Let me come back on your side, and I'll let you get in there.
Oh.
I'm going to let you get in there.
Oh,
I'll come back on the fact that what I know is that she was a stripper. she,
No.
wait a minute.
No.
She's taking nude
No.
pictures. Wait a minute. I'm going to let you in. And so, there's that wiggle room that those of us out there would say, well, come on, you know, but law wins, and we got to decide.
Listen, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me put some woman perspective up in here because it's ridiculous.
no, it's not.
Okay,
Yeah.
she
Yes,
was
you're right.
a
It is
stripper.
ridiculous.
Anyways, she was a stripper.
Right.
We got that.
We got
She ended up with Khalifa, therefore ending
No,
her stripper.
No, you're thinking that Amber Rose, who was up
I,
at Friends.
oh, yes,
She got
I'm
with
sorry.
Tiger.
She got with Tiger.
The pedophile.
Lord.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That's another.
She got with Tiger,
Yeah.
and that's when she stopped stripping, or I don't know if it was around that time. She stopped stripping. So she was no longer a stripper, which means there is no longer, like, no, oh, I'm a stripper, so I can post my body on the internet. And two, strippers have rights too.
They do. They have the right to strip.
When I'm in the club and I'm stripping and I know cell phones are allowed in the club, okay, if it ends up on the internet. But if I, as your significant other, decide to send you some nude photos, I have an expectation that I'm sending you two photos. I'm not sending Twitter the nude photos. And then, as we know, even after she was in a relationship with Tyga, that she would still do, you know, more revealing magazine spreads. She knew then. She signed up. She signed a contract. They paid her. She did the images for the magazine. But she's in a relationship. When I sent you something to your phone, I ain't send it to everybody in my phone.
Personal.
Or I didn't send it to the email. Like, I ain't put it in an email loop.
Right.
So I feel like her rights should be respected. Like, no, you don't get to post
Let me
my
go.
stuff on the internet because you mad. Because
Let
you
me
got
bust in here with a comedic moment. In the great words of the great actor Terrence Howard, it's hard out here for a pimp. Yes! I mean, these girls are. Wait a minute. These girls are unionizing. They want better working conditions. You know what I'm saying? It is hard. No, that's comic relief. But on a serious note, I agree with you. You know, that was her body. She sent those to him personally. And once again, and I know you want to get in here, I'm going to side on the side of the law. Go ahead.
Okay. Can't argue with the law. The law is the law. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
Right.
Since she took the pictures and sent him the pictures, how does he know he the only one that got the pictures? She could have sent it to somebody
But
else.
that doesn't matter.
The point is, even if she sent it to Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Rob, all four of them, at the same day, if she put them in a text message group chat and sent them all the same dude, she expected them four to get that. And seeing as if it was a group chat of 4 people and you the only one in the group chat to submit my photos to Instagram, you are wrong.
Well, hold on, let me slide my glasses down so I can push them up.
Right.
If she sends it to Tom, Dick, Harry, and Rob, then that automatically voids any boyfriend and girlfriend confidentiality. Because if you send it,
that's not the law.
You're missing the law.
You're missing the point. The law doesn't say it has to be a spouse.
Right.
The law says if I sent this to you, I meant it to go to you. So if I sent it to 4 different people, I only meant for them 4 people to see it. Okay?
Well,
You are missing the point.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't think nobody would want that.
Yeah, boy, the voice of wisdom.
You know, pictures of Rob with revenge within itself.
Right.
So now, basically, what y'all telling me is I need to write up a bill to amend this law to, if she sends the pictures to him, then she takes responsibility for whether
No,
or not
you do
they
not
end up-
need to
yes.
write a law to amend it
Yes.
because
What
then,
are we talking?
once again, you're taking away women's rights to their bodies.
Yeah.
So you'll be
I'm
on
not.
the side with this
I'm not.
administration.
I'm giving her the right.
Yeah.
If she wants to pull out her phone, take a picture of herself, something, and send it, she got the right to.
Yeah.
She just don't have the right to be mad if I put them out on there.
No, that's not okay.
You're missing the
You're
point.
missing the whole point.
It is called revenge.
No.
Rob is acting in anger and he's acting in revenge, and revenge is in the name of this law. So, therefore, Rob better get some of that Kardashian money
I
and
said
get
it.
ready to
He only
pay out.
been paying her off with his mama money anyway. He don't even have no money.
I
Ain't
said it
nobody
before.
buying him
Yeah.
no socks from him.
And I'll say it again.
Right.
No.
Because people say, well,
No.
put yourself in that position, what if that was your daughter?
Right.
And I said then, and I'll say it again.
What if she's just a human?
No,
Let's
let
put
him
it from
finish
human.
his statement. 'Cause
I'm
he's
going to
talking
make it
about my
real to me
granddaughter.
because you already know how I feel about if it's anybody other than my
Right.
daughter.
Right.
So we'll do this from the aspect of my daughter. The conversation will be had like this.
Right.
Your Honor, I taught my daughter better than that. Why?
Yeah.
Why am I talking to the judge? Because if it happens, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
Or at least damn near.
Yeah,
Oh my
My
God.
daughter.
I
Right,
get
she
it.
take your picture, she pushing them out.
But
I
this
get
is
it.
you millenniums and what would you call them?
Oh, they still
They're still
Oh, they still
millennium.
millennium.
This
Okay.
is that millennium mentality.
Yeah.
We want fame, we want fortune, we want this, we want that. And
But
they
we
do
want
these
our
things.
bodies to
When
be
I was growing
respected.
up, we didn't even leave the light on when we got undressed.
I thought,
But now, do you want to send pictures? You know what I mean?
I thought you was getting ready to say that y'all didn't have camera phones because you still don't.
Well, we
But-
right.
That's a whole
That's
other
another
generation
story.
thing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
my point of it is, as a woman, why there are these rules for women and no rules for men?
I did.
Well,
I gave
you
you the
got your-
alternative. If he took the picture, he sent it out. He go to jail. Boom. Just like that.
That is not an
It
alternative.
is.
No, it
Why?
is
Because
not.
now what they gonna do is, since you like to be naked in front of the camera, let him take the picture. Then you see the picture. Make sure he sends you the picture of the picture that he
It's
took.
not even about him. It's
Okay,
about
fine.
why
See-
I'm not
See,
allowed to
you're
do what
missing
I
the
want.
point. They were in this love fest.
Hey, what,
Here,
you know,
baby, let
no.
me show. Here's some
No.
pictures for you. Blah blah blah. But as you would say, with the intentions that these pictures was yours alone.
Mm-mm.
It's in the name, Robert.
See?
It's in the name.
It is. But
Yeah.
she was at the Rob long time ago. There's pictures
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
internet of
yeah.
her with a shirt that say "Future Baller Baby Mama." She knew from the beginning
Listen,
she was gonna
You
have to
said
take.
you didn't want to talk about the aspect of game. Because if it's the game, she won the game.
She did.
She getting child
She
support.
did. She did.
All
She
that
won. That,
18 years.
exactly. So
She
Bow
got
Wow.
a house.
Yeah.
She got all
Bow
that
Wow.
jazz.
Yeah.
Okay?
Go to the state
But I
attorney.
am talking about the fact that she has a right to her privacy regardless of her past relationship.
Well, the key word to that is privacy, which is derived from the word private, which basically means if you care about your
Private
privacy and your private part, then keep them private. Don't be.
No,
Yeah.
that's no,
Hey,
no,
Hey,
no,
that's
no.
commerce, man. That's
No.
e-commerce.
I'm
That's
just
commerce.
saying.
But let me say
You
what you
feel
were
that.
saying, and why, as a woman, I'm sure you're explaining this, is that I totally agree with you, and the fact is, what women and what African Americans have in common, it ain't been long for either of us to get any rights in this country.
Mhm.
And we've got these bald-headed people, these old white people up in Congress trying to tell a woman what to do with her body. The bottom line is, it's in the name. It's called the revenge thing. Rob is on record of saying, this is the reason I'm doing it, to get back on you. This is I can win this case.
Yeah.
And I'm a high school graduate. So
You-
that's all I got to say about it.
Forget
And
that.
I just
Yeah.
think, I don't know, is it a generational thing? Because I know our generation is very much so women's rights, and it's a woman's body, and she has the right to do with it what she wants.
Right.
your generation specifically was like,
No,
bro.
no. You can't
She-
vote.
she
You
out
can't
there.
smoke. You can't. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She out there, and
Yeah.
your generation was basically
Well, I'm pretty
the
sure.
B words.
I'm pretty sure in this, I'm probably standing by myself, but I'm still stand.
On his
And
sinking ship.
if Johnny Cochran was still here, he would say, if she used to strip, this a trip. So, again, y'all said it. It's in the name.
Yeah.
It's the law.
Yeah.
And Rob being a son of a lawyer,
Yeah.
I would have thought he would have
He
known
would've
what
been-
not to say.
Yeah.
No,
Anger. Anger.
You know-
we can't even give it
Yeah.
to him for being the
Yeah.
son of a lawyer. His daddy was not in his life for very long. He
But-
passed away.
But
So.
your genes are
But
your
it's
genes.
just like
Right.
common sense.
Right.
It's the
Your
problem.
genes are your genes. And somebody somewhere, the mama should have came
No.
and been like,
Oh,
look at
come
Rob.
on. That's,
Woo,
no. You don't want to go there.
We not
All right,
taking
you know
it.
what? We ain't even got time for that. So listen.
No,
Mhm.
no. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
ladies, I wholeheartedly support you to do what you want with your body. I may not do the same,
I support the nigga.
but shut up. But it is your right to do what you want with your body and to send pictures to whomever you want to send pictures to. But make sure you do not send them, excuse me, father, to a fuckboy. Okay?
Well, listen, my information to be at the bottom. You can hire me if you got something you want to send. I can tell you if you got a future in modeling.
Do
Because
not send him
I got an eye for that.
nothing.
Matter of fact, I got 4 eyes for that. So just holler at
You
your
don't.
boy. I will let you know.
So today,
Thumb up, thumb down, however you want it.
Dad, you got any last things? about
I
the
just
subject?
like to say thank you for inviting me into this debate, this discussion. I really am impressed with the minds and the knowledge that you must be your mom's that you got that from. But I am impressed, and so thanks for having me.
Today on Buttonheads, I guess the law woman, not necessarily men or women.
Yeah,
But-
we gonna rephrase that and remove it.
What?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm for the Trump. It's gonna be huge.
it's not going to be huge. If
That's
it's anything,
Bernie. That's Bernie.
if it's anything,
Huge.
anyway.
Go ahead.
So that's all we have for you today, you guys. Again, my name is Tiffany Nicole, and I'm also the host of Uncharted. So if you want to catch me over there, head over to my YouTube channel, which a link will be in the description below. And let's connect, you guys. Also, tell us what you thought about both subjects.
Yes.
What are your perspectives?
If you like it, please feel free to share it on your page. Share it on the friends page who you think will like it. Excuse me. I'm Robert Bass. I represent World Class Clown Comedy. You can find me on YouTube under World Class Clown Comedy. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, IG. It'll be below. Make sure you friend request me and then send me them pics.
Don't send him up here. Again, this is our dad. We both came from him. I know it's shocking. But we were so happy to have him today. Thanks for being a good sport, Dad.
Thank you for having me.